Hi, today we're going to talk about how marketing works in the automotive industry.
Let's jump into it.
With 30 years' experience in auto logistics and state-of-the-art locations in 5 major Australian cities, Precar Fleet Services are a premier all-in-one solutions provider for commercial vehicle fleet operators, leasing companies and original equipment manufacturers. Please visit precar.com.au and click on the link to Fleet Services.
Okay, Mark, to kick things off, can you explain how marketing works? What are all the concepts that you go through to start marketing a vehicle?
It's interesting, John. We often think of marketing at the bottom end of the final 500 metres of the race, which is the promotional side of things. But long before we even get to the stage of traditional marketing, of advertising and activations, etc., a lot of work's done in the organisations well before that, and many years before. And it comes down to product development or going to the portfolio that the OEM has in its of products nationally or globally, and say, right, okay, this particular vehicle is being developed for this market, this country, that country. Right, is it going to be fit? Does it suit this country that we want to sell it in? So the product research goes into play and work out, okay, what it is, features, engines, fuels, EVs, all of these elements, wheels, ground clearance, payload, all this sort of stuff, features are all, a lot of work goes by many, many people over a long period of time. Then comes down the choice to just select it. So therefore that product we think we'll sell in this particular market that we want to sell it into. Then we look at the price. So what we then have a basket of competitors that we assess it with and say, right, well, this comes in at price X. What are our margins? Is it profitable at that? Can we sell it against those other products, those other vehicles? Yes, no. Where do we position it? Are we going to be a price leader? Are we going to be a premium? Are we going to be in the middle? So therefore, the bubble charts tell you where you are versus where are all the main sellers and what are their volumes. So you choose where you're going to position it from a pricing perspective. So the product and price is assessed, and we decided, yes, it's going to be X. So that positioning factor then comes into play with the next one as well, which is place. So you look at your network. You choose which dealers, or you're going to go through dealers. We're going to sell a agency or sell direct. And if you're having dealers, where do they need to be? What do they need to look like? How do they need to be resourced? And what's the experience going to be with those particular brands? So if you're a premium brand, you don't want to have dirt floors in showrooms. Conversely, if you want to be a competitor price leader brand, having it in a very expensive showroom may not match what your story is trying to tell. So vice versa, there's horses for courses. You don't just go in a metro when you need to be selling out in rural areas. So these are some of the challenges from a place perspective. Then you look at the final one, which is the promotion. So this is how are we going to tell the story? What communication channels are we going to use? What story are we going to tell? But the most important thing is you need to ask the question is, well, who's going to buy this thing? And it may be a number of segments that are actually going to buy the vehicle. So, but then you look at, age groups, as far as the demographics around that, the geographics, where are they located? The psychographics, what do they believe in? Are they they're empty nesters? Are they extroverts? Are they risk takers? Are they conservatives? All this sort of thing. Are they lifestyle enjoyers, or are they A to Bers? Transport A to B. So there's a lot of different segmentation. Now, segmentation is not about gender diversity. It's called the facts of life. So what you need to do, you've got to really drill down and work, I'm going to sell to this person of this age group, of this gender, this financial capacity, and with this outlook on life. And that's how I'm going to message that particular person. Another segment will cross over, and we can do a bit with that as well. But in the main, there'll be people who will accept you and there'll be people that reject you. The biggest mistake you make as a marketer is trying to market to everybody and being all things to everyone, because you're not going to be that. We all fall into that trap. We want to be liked by everyone. We want everyone to consider us. But the facts are, if you are a product that's a V8 gas guzzler, own it. Don't try and be environmentally friendly and green, because it just doesn't wash, and you're going to be rejected by the environmental types. Same as if you're an EV brand, don't go down the road of, hey, look, I'm a macho toughie, because you're not going to match that one either. So let's just make sure you market and tell your story and be genuine to who you are and who your customers are. And that's the key. How do you reach them? What's the storytelling around them? The trap that many OEMs fall into and agencies do is that they try to market to themselves. Now, if you're selling a vehicle that is to a rural market that's mainly 50 and male, if you're trying to advertise to a 25-year-old female audience, you're going to miss the mark. Yes, you'll get some that will want want to buy that because they're that sort of segment, and that's great if you get those people. But you're going to miss your core, which is who you really need to relate to. So that's why you just got to be very careful that you don't market to yourselves, and that you actually market to the individuals that are going to, or the groups that are going to buy your vehicle, and just be true to them.
So Mark, once you've identified all the different segments, so you're going to target them. How do you go about targeting those different segments? What sort of elements do you use to make sure you reach that particular segment?
And this is the beauty. There's a lot of some amazingly clever people in agencies that know the channels and know where particular people engage. So you can actually segment from a psychographics perspective is the type of media that people take in, when they do it. And that's the beauty of social media is fantastic for that, because it's actually better than what the old days of we'd have TV blast away, or you'd try to do a little bit of radio or a bit of outdoor. Outdoor is still very important. Make no mistake, outdoor is brilliant because you're in a car and cars relate to outdoor. Radio works as long as they're listening to the radio, but if you're on Spotify or listen to podcasts like this, you're not going to get those ads. So that's going to be a challenge for you as well. So that's why the digital space is very good. And it's that retargeting that you can actually do with these individuals. But also you get into their lives. This is where placement with sponsorships, placement with what you're doing from your channel partners, what they're doing in their communities, and telling the story and getting that vehicle out there and getting road presence too. Road presence, don't never underestimate the importance of road presence, because it validates anyone who's thinking about potentially getting one of your products, that they can see, okay, someone else has done it. I'm not on my own here. I'm not an outlier. I feel reassured that someone else has made a purchase, so therefore I'll do the same. So road presence is very important. But the beauty of now with digital from a targeting perspective, and a lot of the tools that say car sales, we talk about how they can reach individuals. You know exactly where they are. You can target them with the story, is so powerful. And the important part here is that you tell the story about, here's the brand, here's the product, this is, it's okay to buy this, look how good it is. And the way you tell the story is you put the vehicle into the individual's lives. So this is how this vehicle is going to make your life better, because the vehicle's an extension of the individual. So here's, say, a four-wheel drive going through, it's my escape vehicle. I may never go off-road, but I can if I want to. Or I drive this vehicle, it's this really cool city zip around, and I can get in and out. It looks great. I'm pulling up in front of nightclubs and all this sort of stuff, or I'm going to sporting events, and how great do I look? Or here's the versatility of a family SUV. Look, we can do this. We can go on picnics. We can go here. We can take 7 people if we need to. Going to the soccer, or we're doing whatever. This is just, how great is this? We're going camping. Look at this. It's just potentials abound. So it's all about making your life better. So that's why the lifestyle element of vehicles is important, but also caters for those that just want to get travel from A to B. It looks okay. Seems safe. There's a reassurance story to the vehicle. So therefore, what is it? Where do I get it from? Then they start investigating, where do I get the vehicle? It makes sense. It's available there or here. I can do it online, or I can buy that place that looks like a good site to go do business with. I'll go check it out there. So that's how you build that story. The next thing is, we want people to go, okay, so you've considered it for a while. The next phase is, when do I get it? And this is where when incentives come into play. Okay, here's an offer that's in play. It might be a finance offer, or it might be a servicing offer, or it might be some other incentive that I come in. It might be a cashback offer if need be. But these are the sort of things it's like, oh, what's available right now? Geez, they're in stock. They haven't been out of stock. They've been out of stock for 4 months. Now I can get one. That's an incentive in itself. That's a buy it now incentive. So then the last point of that is, I'm coming down the funnel of, what is the car? Okay, I'm happy with it. I'm considering it. Now there's a reason they've got stock of it. I can get it now if I need it. I can change my car over, or there's a finance offer to do it. The last element is, where do I get it? And this is where your channel partners come into play. Working in conjunction with your channel partner, here's an incentive. This is what you need to do. Buy it from me. And that's why you should buy it from me, because the story is consistent from the OEM through to the regional area, which says buy it now, to where it is buy it from me. So the channel partners are on board with that consistency all the way through.
Yeah, I think you make a very good point there, Mark, and that's why when you, that last point is buy from me now is so important, because that's where the dealer needs to really spend time on developing his brand and why the customers in his area should buy from him. So the corporate and the OEM will be doing the brand marketing, but the dealer needs to focus on his marketing and why people should come into his dealership and buy from him. That's a really good point there.
And that's where the CRM comes into play from the channel partner, the dealer, the agent, etc. It's like, okay, we've now got inventory. Here's the story. Come and get it from me. We've got X, Y, and Z in stock, or we've got these vehicles on display, or hey, we can do something for you from a trade-in. We need to get your trade-in in. So it's that whole final piece of buy it from me now. And that's where that 360 comes into play. The OEM's doing their bit up here, but the dealer does their bit down here, so that you really finalise and put that peace of mind transaction all the way through. And it's a consistent story all the way through. Thank you for listening. Hopefully you got as much out of this discussion as we did.
Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. And we'll speak to you again next week.